Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I made a video, but today's topic is so important that I just wanted to share with you guys. Something that I've noticed while improving my life is the idea that structure is actually the key to freedom. When I was younger, I used to think that having rules in place was restrictive and it didn't give me the ability to be creative or think freely or have the sort of like autonomy that I was so like desiring. As I've grown older, I've realized the importance of structure and how discipline is actually the key to freedom that a lot of people are not aware of. When we think of someone who is incredibly disciplined and has a schedule that they stick by, we think of them as restricted. We think of them as someone who lacks freedom and the ability to do things on a whim without constantly having to check if they have other things that they need to do. But the reality is, who has more freedom? Is it the person who at the beginning of each month budgets out their money and allocates each dollar that they make towards funds that will benefit them? Or the person who just spends as the month goes by without thinking about, their duties and their responsibilities, and then comes short at the end of the month because they're not able to pay for anything? I know what I'm saying is clicking with someone out there because it's a realization that I had to come to, and it's something that has completely restructured how I see rules and how I see boundaries. I genuinely used to think that the people who had schedules and who went by planners, even though it was something that I needed, I used to think that those people were the ones who had no fun, but that is not true. Another example I'll give you is someone who counts calories and is watching what they're eating so that they can achieve a certain goal, for example, losing weight. Is that person less free than someone who eats whatever they want without a second thought, does whatever they want to do, and at the end of the month or after a few months, they are overweight and they are unhappy with their body? Is that the freedom that you want versus the freedom of being able to live in a body that you're happy with and live a life that you're happy with? A life that guarantees you the ability to walk into any store and know that they're going to have your size. A life that guarantees you the freedom to not be constantly self-conscious over how you look in photos or how you look to other people, because you know you've done the work. You know that the structure that you've put in place, the boundaries that you've put in place as to certain types of foods that you eat or don't eat, the exercises you do and when you do them, all of these things are creating boundaries with which you can thrive in. And I think this is such an exciting thing because in this day and age, there's so many people who are absolutely fed up with the rules of society and the rules that have been put in place for eons at this point. I'm an artist myself, and there's something that stuck with me that I don't even remember, when I heard this first, but art is not art without the frame and the boundaries that it lies within. Otherwise, it is graffiti. And of course, we can get into, graffiti is art. We're not talking about that right now. If you give a child crayon and they scribble all over your white walls without the boundaries of a frame, that is literally graffiti in your home. That is scribbles on the wall. But when you put that into a frame and when you frame that up, now that is art. Now that is something that people can look at and know that this was purposefully done. And I think that is the beauty of having structure and discipline in your life, is that you are being intentional with the changes that you are trying to make in your life, and they will benefit you and give you the ability to be free in other ways that one could argue are way more important. Who cares about the freedom to eat whatever you want to eat when the consequence is looking at a body that you're not happy with? Who cares about spending money whenever you want, however you want, as recklessly as you want, when the consequence of that is you not being able to save for the future? Who cares about moving recklessly through life under the guise of freedom when the consequence of that is an aimless life that has no purpose? Ooh, child. I just said a word. I implore you, in the ways that you can in your self-development journey, to learn how to use boundaries to your benefit. They are for you so that you can improve and you can go wherever you want to. And you get to decide how freedom looks like for you. For example, people who are entrepreneurs, they have decided to remove the structure of a regular 9 to 5 in pursuit of something that they see as more important, the freedom of their own time. Because of that, they are also giving up other things like security, although to be honest, 9 to 5s these days are not, as secure as they were in the past. But you know what I mean. Everything has a consequence. Everything has a trade-off. There is no way you can move through the world without having to give something in order to gain something. In order for me to gain the ability to look in the mirror and love my body and love how I look, I had to lose the freedom of eating whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, as much as I wanted, but I gained something so much more valuable to me. And I think that's what it comes down to with a lot of self-development things and topics, is that you really have to decide what is more important to you. Is it the comfort of your old ways, the comfort of, feeling bad about yourself? Are you happier with that than moving into a place where, it's a little, it's something that it's a place you've never been before. It's a little unstable to you at first, but you know that at the end of that is something and a lifestyle that you will truly appreciate. I am just so thrilled to be back making YouTube videos. I am thinking of so many different things that I want to make, so many different types of content that I want to make, because I feel like I want to learn how to teach and express all the knowledge that I've gained so far in my life and that I will continue gaining in a way that is interesting to you guys. So I really hope that this video lands with the people that it needs to land with. If you are struggling right now deciding whether or not to leave the old you behind, I promise you there's something so much better waiting on the other side of your discomfort and on the other side of your fear. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!